What's going on, brother?
Good to see you, man. Sorry I'm late.
No worries, no worries. How you doing?
Good, just a busy Friday. Goodness, it's like everything came crashing down yesterday, and I'm just not have a chance to get caught up. What about you?
Doing well, man. I'm pretty stoked to see Bitcoin back at 95K. A little disappointed because it's nice to stack a little bit lower, but it looks like 100K is a magnet at this point. It looks like 120K is a magnet at this point.
Sunday night, dude, 11 p.m., 100K.
That's a good call. I mean,
Sunday
there's so
night.
much bullish news right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does feel like sort of the cat's out of the bag, and this
Yeah.
week has been, you know, I think definitive for Bitcoin.
For sure. 100%. It's like you got Jack Mallers, Tether, Cantor Fitzgerald doing the whole strategy thing times 10. I don't know. It's a lot more Bitcoin native, I guess. It's a great thing that strategy is going to have competition with some other very large corporation, I guess, right? There's gonna be so many companies that kind of play this game and run this strategy. And one of those companies, which we were kind of talking about earlier, that's fumbling the ball right now, that had a great opportunity to kind of beat Cantor Fitzgerald to the punch, is GameStop. Uh, you have any thoughts about that? I mean, come on.
What what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
I went on a podcast a couple weeks ago with Michael Jordan from the Bitcoin Way, and I didn't have a very articulate answer, but what I was trying to express is that they have 4 billion in cash. Don't do a debt round first. Go stack Bitcoin and show people you're serious. Take 2 billion, stack Bitcoin because it's just losing, your dollars are losing value just sitting there. I don't know if it's cash or treasuries or whatever, but they've got money on the balance sheet and Bitcoin's price is rising, you know? Like, what are you doing? You got $2 billion.
They
You
didn't
have
buy at
4 billion.
75K. They didn't buy at 77. They didn't buy at 85. They didn't buy at 90.
I know. It's like, are
95.
we being psyoped here? The other thing that's annoying about it is, Ryan Cohen takes a photo with Sailor at Mar-a-Lago, and says, we're going to be buying Bitcoin, but they haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. Why, yeah, why telegraph it? I guess you want to get speculation, interest in your stock, and you think, how long can we play the speculation game without actually buying the Bitcoin? Uh,
But what's the point? You're
But
just
what's the
losing.
but what's the point? Like I
You're
don't
losing.
That's not
Bitcoin's
really much of a
finite.
strategy, right?
No, it's just dumb. It's like we're going to head fake just to head fake.
Yeah.
It's like, screw you guys. That's not the point here. The point is to accumulate Bitcoin, not just tell people you're going to.
It's pretty damn easy. I mean, we got it. If we could get it, us
It
plebs,
is it
just
is the
buy.
easiest
Yeah,
thing.
you've got
Yeah.
fiat, or you've got whatever, whatever's in your portfolio, and then you just exchange that for Bitcoin. Just that's it.
It's not hard.
It's not. I mean,
It's
it's
not hard.
not hard, right?
I don't we're beyond the point where anyone has an excuse for not having some Bitcoin, you know? You got to have some Bitcoin. Are you a freaking moron? Like you can't have zero Bitcoin in 2025.
No, it's a life risk to not own Bitcoin. It's a risk to your livelihood and to your future if you don't
Yeah.
own
Yeah. So I don't know. How long do you think it'll be before GameStop buys?
it. Well, I think before the conference
You think
or
that has
Vegas.
a bearing on it? Do you think they're going to
No,
show up on stage and
no, I'm just
announce
kind
it
of using that as sort of like a
like a
like I don't
marker?
think that they really care much about the Bitcoin. Although from like a media standpoint, it is a nice way if you're going to announce something, you announce it at an event. Like Tether did that at the Plan B forum that they'd be going on Lightning Network. So a lot of companies like to kind of use events as like uh there's tons of media there paying attention all at once. So it's a really great way to get a lot of coverage. But they're so big, right? They're already, I mean, everyone knows GameStop already, so I don't know if there's much of a value to waiting. I just think that I can't imagine them going another month without buying Bitcoin the direction things are going. And the conference is like literally a month away.
If they don't buy Bitcoin, the game is going to stop.
Yeah, that's very well said. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing is I'm looking at this one post by Bruce Fenton, um, and he's the host of Satoshi Roundtable. Has been doing it for a very like OG Bitcoin guy. He's gotten into crypto and all that stuff too.
Senator, wasn't he a senator or congressman or some
Yeah,
politician up in
massive.
the Northeast,
Is it New Hampshire or I don't know,
New England?
somewhere like that. And so I'm looking at a post right now, and he's reminiscing about the early days of Bitcoin. And so he says a 5,000 Bitcoin Foundation membership, 7,500 Bitcoin for a conference, 20 Bitcoin for a dinner. It's amazing how much Bitcoin was spent in the early days to experiment, promote, and build the ecosystem we see today. Here's to the crazy builders and dreamers. I mean, it's incredible. Those are astronomical numbers, and that was maybe only 12 years ago, you know? And so it makes you think what we're taking for granted right now. And it's like you know where it's going. You know we're going to look back and say, "Wow, like I can't I paid, $200 equivalent to Zapright for the service in Bitcoin." And then like 10 years from now, that'll be like, "Holy shit, I paid like
20
10
grand.
20 grand, right? 10 grand,
Right.
20 grand." Or like you're zapping on Noster and you're like, wow, man, I thought I was only giving them like $1 or less. Turns out I gave them like 500.
Yeah,
But
dude.
it's almost it's like a rite of passage, and it's what Bitcoiners need to do to circulate the idea and to create this like Bitcoin circular economy. And then you look back and then you say, wow, that was absolutely crazy. And you have some pretty eye-popping stories to tell. So it's just I read this and it just put it in perspective to me.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I love hearing the fact that people wasted their Bitcoin because it makes me feel less bad
Yeah.
about not buying it until 2021. I
Hmm.
mean, you could say like I like Bitcoin as a fractal. So think about each of the cycles that we go through. And we've been here forever. The story is the same, but different people are experiencing it today just as they did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago, it was like get to 6.5 Bitcoin or 6.15 Bitcoin.
Hmm.
Today, it's get to 1 Bitcoin. In 4 years, it'll be get a half a Bitcoin. And that narrative, that experience is going to repeat over and over and over as Bitcoin grows. And yeah, at some point, 100 sats will be generational wealth.
Yeah. It's it's just being patient, right? It's just
That's the hardest
taking
thing. That's the
yeah,
hardest thing.
taking your emotions out of it. Uh and that can be hard sometimes because you want everything to happen all at once, and you spend time visualizing that the life that you want to live. And so you're like, man, I wish it would just skyrocket to 1 million right now, you know? But that's why I think that like these are the days that build our character, and they're the days that we'll actually miss the most because we'll reminisce about being, being the beginning days of Bitcoin and sharing all the stories about the podcast that we did and the friends that we made on Twitter and all the shit posting and stuff like that. And that's almost like going to be that's the stuff that's going to be written about, right? That's the stuff that like literature, it will be in literature, it'll be in like movies and TV shows and things like that. You'll start to see like a cultural uh impact, when we look back on things, and we're kind of a part of that movement. So yeah, I think we have to continue to remind ourselves that we are, still early. There were people that were earlier, but in the grand scheme of things, like we're still in the, early innings of this thing.
How do you handle being early when people say we're so early? What goes through your mind?
But sometimes I feel like it's bullshit because I'm like, well, could have bought it for a couple $100.
Me too. I personally have a hard time when people say we're so early.
Yeah.
I think, Bitcoin's been around 15 years.
But
you
you
know.
say that, but you say, I mean, but look, the internet, I mean, it's outpacing the adoption of the internet, right? And it's like we're so early because when you truly understand it and you know where things are going, you know that Bitcoin should actually be at 30 million right now, right? Like you kind of know that's why we don't want to sell any Bitcoin. Like we know its value. So it's like, well, yeah, in that regard, we're early. Doesn't feel like the pocketbook doesn't feel like it, like the returns don't feel like it, like the OG Bitcoiners feel it, but you know, we know where this is going.
Yeah, that's the one thing I mean, I'm just admitting all the things that I suck at, but I don't like being early. But I also, and not to be a victim here, but I think other classes, other Bitcoin classes have experienced a lot more highs than
Yeah,
anyone who came in
returns for
2021.
sure. Yeah.
Like, so if you're a 21 pleb like me, like we rode it up to 69, down to 16. I think we did that twice, and now we're at 95.
Yeah.
But if you bought in 2020, it went from 6,000 to 3,000 in one day.
Yeah.
And if you knew what Bitcoin was, and if you were already orange pilled and you understood where it would go in the future or understood the potential, and you had, if you had 10 grand that you could spend, you could scoop up, 3.5 Bitcoin like that. And, today you'd have almost 300 grand or over 300 grand, just a few years later. Like I
Hmm.
haven't experienced the crazy highs that other classes have experienced. I have experienced the dips, the 80% dips going from 69 to 16. Um, I'm waiting for that. Like that's the part I know it's going to happen. And like you said, we could be at 130, 120 is a magnet. We could be at 500 this year. I'll feel like I'm participating in Bitcoin's history as a real pleb once I get to experience the euphoria, you know,
Yeah, I
going
am
from
looking forward to some euphoria. That'll be nice.
that's what I need. Because like going from 82 to 93, like over the last 10 days is great. I knew it was going to do that though. Bitcoin always
Right.
returned to its all-time high. I know we're going to be back to 106 or 109. I want to go to 500. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
fuck yeah. I want to go to a million.
Yeah. I want to go to a million, dude. I want to go to Jeff Booth's implied value of 43 million coin. Like that's what I want. I'm sorry. I'm in it for lots of reasons. I love the freedom. I love the
No,
fact
no,
that
but
we
it's
don't have
like
to
that
wait.
meme with the Indian guy and he's wearing all the gold and the rings and stuff. He's like, I'm in it for the tech.
Exactly, dude. I want the euphoria.
Nice, man. Well, can Bitcoin save humanity? Because there's some crazy clown world stuff happening right now. Just the other day, it got revealed that the UK is about to try and dim the sun. Yes, you heard that correctly. They're trying to dim the sun, disregard all the movement of solar panels and that being the renewable movement. We're not doing that any longer. We're blocking out the sun. In the next few days, Britain will begin geoengineering experiments. That sounds nice. To block sunlight from reaching the Earth in a scheme straight out of a dystopian sci-fi novel. Yeah. Funded and championed by Bill Gates and elite climate panels. One scientist actually warns it could cause tens of thousands of deaths. No shit. What about depression, right? What about like, I don't know, just
Farming, dude.
farming, like everything, like forestry, like the others,
Right.
they shrug, they say it's just the cost of science. This is insanity. The sun is the life giver of this planet. It's now being tampered with by unelected technocrats in the name of climate action. No one voted for this. This deserves copious amounts of tar and feather, if you
There you
ask
go. Yeah, I agree. The UK, I've only been there once. Uh, is twice actually. I've been to Ireland and London. It's not sunny anyway most of the year. They get what do they get? 8 months of rain and cloud and terrible weather. They're the last people that need to be dimming the sun.
me. Yeah,
I
but
don't know
like the
who should
sun,
dim the.
if they're blocking the sun. how do they even they're just blocking it on the UK? Like what how are they they're doing the things that used to be conspiracy theories that are just like fact now?
Yeah,
The
the aerosol spraying from
yeah,
planes, all of that stuff
aluminum.
moves. All that stuff moves with the jet stream. So, I mean, I think what they're really doing is they're going to say, "Hey, we're dimming the sun to save the climate," but they're really just polluting the atmosphere with all kinds of microplastics, lead, silicon dioxide, or whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, the weather modification. I mean, man, what a sad world. I think that uh, some people have to learn the hard way.
They need to be stopped. Why aren't they being stopped?
I don't know who could stop them.
It would take a revolution,
There you go.
which I know no one wants to have a rev like no one wants to be a part of a revolution, right? But I
I
mean,
don't think the
come
Brits
on.
do. No way.
Like if they're
The Brits
blocking
don't.
out the sun, they're flooding the countries, like ethnically cleansing them with legal immigrants. And I mean, at what point do you say, you know what? You brought this on yourselves?
Well, that's right. You can leave, right? There are many places in the world that are beautiful and are filled with kind capitalist people. That's what I would be seeking out. I would
I
say,
would
well,
seek that out too, but at
I'm
the
a
same time, if
refugee.
you're born, raised, heritage in England, and you see what they're doing to your country, I understand that you might want to stand and fight, right? I've really got no, yeah, I'm loyal to America, but like I'm a mutt. I've got no, it's just it's not the same, right? As folks that are like English, or folks that are Irish. Uh, they've got something to fight for, and they should. I don't think they should leave.
Yeah.
I think that's what they've done. I think that's what every smart person has done, and so that they've fled the country, but now the country has a lack of people that are, you know, willing to stand up or able to stand up. They don't have the means, they think, or they're and our world these days, it's really hard to like organize. Like you might think it would be easier because we've got, computers in our hands and we can connect with people all the way across the world. But at the same time, people don't have their third place anymore, right? They don't go to the pub that they always used to go to before the internet existed. They don't go to the churches anymore, right? They don't congregate like they used to. And so you've got that withering away of the social fabric where you get like just smaller pockets, right? Smaller pockets of people. But not this like mass movement, maybe. I don't know. But I think we've got to find a way to return to that if we're gonna fix anything.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you think Bitcoin fixes this for them?
No, I mean no. Like no, I don't. I think probably lead does.
What kind of shaped lead?
I
Is
think
it
no,
lead
but I
moving at
think
a high speed?
just lead. I think
Got it.
of course, like if you had a Bitcoin standard that puts checks and balances on what the government can spend or these, but like, but like, are they going to get that? And is that going to fix things before you go direct and solve this problem that needs to be solved immediately, right? By
Maybe
any
the
means
maybe the
necessary.
public, yeah, maybe the public outcry will be great enough that the people responsible will be afraid to follow through.
I hope. Yeah, I hope. I guess. I mean, like, I hope that it can peacefully uh get away from this movement. I don't have a lot of confidence in that. I don't. There, folks on the other end that have been taken advantage of for all these years have been peaceful this whole way through, and people have been speaking out, but then they've been labeled far right neo-Nazis or whatever, climate change deniers, like if that's a bad thing. And so I just don't that the left is so pretentious and the globalists are so pretentious that they feel they've got a divine right almost to do the things they need to do because the stupid folks that disagree are just cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because I thought we were winning. I thought we were winning. And
I think we can get there. I'm
Yeah.
optimistic, right? It might not sound like it right now because you see stuff like this and you think doom and gloom, but I think that there are enough patriots out there. You see it on X that something looks like it's about to break, right? It looks like we're about to have a breakthrough. There's been a return to conservatism globally and a lack of um, the tools that the left has used historically that have actually worked in like the last 10 years, 10 or 15 years, the cancel culture stuff, all this doesn't work anymore.
Mm.
And it's it is ineffective, right? So if they want to label this other side, right, neo-Nazis, whatever, it's like, okay, you want to label me? Fine. But we're still talking about this. I'm not that,
Mhm.
and it's like it makes them seem silly. So yeah, I think that they're running out of tools in the tool shed. And yeah, we'll see.
You sent me a link. What did you but it went to your bookmark folder, so I can't see it.
Oh, you don't see that?
Well, no, when it's the link has it's like from your bookmarks, I think. So what do you
Interesting. That's weird. I should show you the tweet. It was the one about the events, 75,000 Bitcoin for an event, the Bruce Fenton one that I mentioned.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. So crazy. What do
Anyway,
you
man,
think?
you want to stack?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's stack some sets.
All right, let's do it. Stacking at
95,000.
95. What are
I
we
think
stacking today? 21?
I think I'm gonna buy $100.
All right, dude. Okay. I'm gonna let you do that.
It's Friday. I feel like
Let's
this is a
go.
good way.
Okay, smash buying 21 at 95.3.
Yep. I'm using Strike, Jack Mahler's preferred platform.
Here we go, using River.
All right, there it goes. Make it rain.
Let's do it, baby. Now we just ended the show
101.99.
with more Bitcoin than we had going into it, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, man. It is good. So what do you think? I've seen some people kind of criticize Jack Mahler's um, this week, and I feel like he's a pretty straight up dude and has only been working for Bitcoin adoption. Is it just jealousy or I mean,
I
what
think
kind
there's
of
a bit of yeah, there's this idea that he's privileged, right? Because he comes from a lot of wealth. Like
the
his
banker
father
family?
was like what he was running the CME, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And very high up there in finance and all that. So I think that there's just like you didn't really work for what you had because you had backing from your father and his connections and you benefited from that and that's how you kind of got your platform and everything. But like, I mean, dude, he's undeniably a passionate Bitcoiner. He's out there. You can't fake that. You can't be out there every day doing videos, doing podcasts, whatever it is, running a company, CEO, being a dual CEO now of this other company, and just like being uh inauthentic and faking it. You don't. So, I mean, I love the guy, I understand the pushback about like this hyper corporatization of Bitcoin and Tether being involved at all these levels of Bitcoin can be a bit of a concern. I recognize that, but I just think that this is the way that Bitcoin is for enemies. So different people or corporations or governments are going to implement different strategies to accumulate and to add value to their shareholders or their country, or you buy it directly, you buy it for your family. I'm focused on buying the thing that they're buying
right.
that they love, which is Bitcoin, and but some people still want to speculate on strategy. You want to speculate on GameStop or you want to speculate on whatever this is, 21 Capital. That's fine. I don't have a 401k or a Roth or anything like that. So if I did, I probably would have moved everything into those assets. Uh, but I don't. So yeah, I don't really have any skin in the game since I'm not buying any of it.
Yeah, I like Jack Mahler's. I have no reason to begrudge him. You know, he onboarded El Salvador, as far as my knowledge and experience, to
Yeah.
Bitcoin. He's a Bitcoiner, and I also think we have to grow up, and I don't like Tether because they buy US debt and they're going to make, our debt go throughout the world via stable coins. They're going to perpetuate the dollar system,
Yep.
but they're the major shareholder in this new 21 capital. And I'm sorry, there's nothing that you and I can do to stop it. And if anything else, they are going to push Bitcoin adoption far beyond what the plebs have been willing to do, you
That's
know?
right.
And if I think about this, like Jack gave everybody the chance to buy Bitcoin with Strike, everybody in America at least, and it's in some other countries. But like if you haven't bought Bitcoin by now, you've missed your chance if you refuse. That like Strike is a tool for the plebs. And now 20 for 21 Capital, this is where all the big money is going to come in. Like, how does Bitcoin have haters? I don't get it. How does Bitcoin have people that haven't adopted it yet? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it is like the easiest thing in the world. And not even talking about the freedom, the zero counterparty risk, the fact that it's decentralized, the fact that you can mine it at home, you can run it without permission. I mean, it's hard to accept that people would discount something so revolutionary when they grew up watching the internet come to life and not being able to see the similarities.
Yeah, I think people are just sort of asleep at the wheel, right? And they need to wake up. In a way, I'm grateful that we discovered it before a lot of other people did, right? Like we're a minority, and so it's great to be one. It's we kind of benefit from people's ignorance at this point, or their, you know, being their retardedness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's yeah. Modelers is cool. I can't you just can't, I mean, like the dude is hustling, right? Like he's always out there. He's built companies. I just he's done a lot more for Bitcoin adoption than 99% of the plebs out there.
Oh yeah, for real, dude. I cannot take any credit for anything. I mean,
Yeah,
all I do is shit post and talk about Bitcoin and think about Bitcoin. And
that's
I
right.
try to help people I know, but I'm not that convincing. Mahler's is convincing.
He's got it down.
Yeah,
All right, brother. I guess we can end it there. Hope you have a good weekend. I think the next time we're talking, we're back to six figures.
that's right, man. It'll be 110.
Okay, 110, 110. I say 105 next week Thursday.
Playing it safe. That's all right. That's cool. I get it.
Uh, we'll see, man. We'll see.
All right, dude.
All
Good
right,
talking to
brother.
you.
Later.
Next time. Yep.